the last part. So the third recording is about our creation of the website. The creation of the website is done in AI services. So we want to do a git pull there, but there is a README in this thing. So I'm going now to the README in AI services. And I will be creating a separate directory so that I'm not messing up my own, or that I actually do something different. I've created a directory W just for work for me, so that I can test things out. So don't do this right now. Don't do this command. I just clean it out. So this has now an empty directory. So we are now in an empty directory. I can go into the README for AI services, and I can copy this entire thing here. But I only copy portions of it because you want to maybe verify that you have NPM installed and stuff like this. So there needs to be someone explaining how to install NPM. So I have probably this already installed, so that I can just copy this and run this thing. And it downloads the whole thing, right? Including the NIST directory with all its catalog entries. It takes a while, right? So depending on how good your network infrastructure is, it takes a little bit longer, or your computer. And this one will mess up your Cloud Mesh installation if you do it in a separate directory. If you do it in the CM directory, it will be just working fine. So now we have this whole thing in there, and this is actually said this is we want to now start the Hugo server. So now we can say Hugo -d server. So now it says, hey, there is a server now running on Hugo, which is this copy. And I now open up a web browser. The web browser, I open up here and say past. And I now open up this thing. And oh, wow, you get actually a web server running locally on your thing. So the background color is a little bit bad because I copied it from my other project. So we can change the background color, but we can go to documentation, and there's AI services there. That's where we want to go, AI services. Now we have Alibaba or Amazon. And remember, the one thing is we went to the first entry here to augment it. And here we go. This is our entry from the database, from the NIST repository that we created automatically.
And this is the markdown?
That's the markdown, the Hugo markdown here.
Yeah.
And as you can see, this is the Hugo markdown format, has certain other features. So now I can actually showcase you to modify this, but this particular modification you should only do in a NIST directory. So we can, because we are using the NIST directory from here, and because we create a link, it's actually possible to make that modification in here. And I want to see if that's possible. So we have Amazon augmented AI a YAML file. And as you can see, as if I modify this here to put another entry somewhere here under description, do ABC here, right? And I saved it. Oh, and I save this. Nothing happens, right? So what I need to do is I need to be populating this back into the service, right? So now remember, I stand in the NIST directory, and what did I do? I added a CMS catalog, in case you don't remember anymore how to call it, right? But we have here a Hugo program. So we can say copy past Hugo program -- source equal to catalog. And now we have actually, CMS. Oh, I didn't do the copying correctly. So I have recreated all the thing, and as you can see, we have some issue here that this is not being properly calculated. I would have to rerun this thing in order to get this thing back in. So so there is still some challenge in my documentation, so that it's easy that the that this here will be automatically updated. So let me see if this, yeah, so the update is not being done automatically.
So you'd have to rerun the local server.
Yeah, I have to rerun that thing at this time. But there will be a time when this will be automatically updating itself when you run it locally. So that's not yet perfect. But the thing is you see that stuff is there, and we can create this thing for you so that you can take a look at what this looks like. However, you really don't need that, because if you think about this BibTeX thing and this Hugo thing, you can actually look by hand through how this thing looks like, right? And you can see if this thing is correctly done or not, right? Mm-hmm. So the only thing is you can't modify the MD files or the bit file. You only modify this particular file.
So you have to modify YAML, and then you have to convert them again. And once you convert them, you can mark them down to Hugo and then source it out to the local file.
That's correct.
Changed.
That's correct. So so now I think we have here an issue because, yeah, so here the ABC, see the ABC is being communicated. So remember that we have the server running here, and then technically the ABC should be coming in here too, but that seems not to be the case. So I have to look into why it's not populating.
And I'm not too sure about like population of servers, but is ABC?
This was just from me. I just added.
Oh, okay.
Just added ABC here as a string in front of description so that we can see the change.
Okay.
I didn't have enough time for making this, but again, if you go back to the documentation and you were to rerun this into another directory, you would get the new changes.
Mm-hmm.
However, this change needs to be naturally committed. So, yeah, so you have to make sure update augmented AI from AWS. Right? So that everybody else gets that particular change. So now we have all of this stuff done, and then there's now a last step that we do. So let me stop this one.